Each week, American History TV's Real America brings you archival films that help provide context for today's public affairs issues. Next, from July 5, 1963, Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. is interviewed by journalists from Ghana, India, and South Carolina. It's an episode of the U.S. Information Agency program Press Conference USA, which featured journalists from around the world questioning a well-known public figure. Martin Luther King is pressed to explain his nonviolent approach to civil rights, to comment on President Kennedy's Civil Rights Bill, and to describe how he has been influenced by Mahatma Gandhi. U.S. Information Agency films were distributed internationally, but by law they could not be shown in the United States until 12 years after the original release.
Mr. Parasaram.
Dr. King, to what extent have you patterned your movement on the struggle waged by Mr. Gandhi in India? And to what extent is the struggle of the American Negro part of the worldwide movement for freedom of the Afro-Asian people? Because after all, you're also basically an African people settled down in the United States.
To answer the last part of the question first, I would say that our movement here in the United States is in a real sense a part of a worldwide struggle to break down the barriers of injustice and oppression. It is not an isolated or detached struggle, but it is a part of this worldwide struggle for freedom and human dignity. Now, on the first part of the question, I would say that our movement has been patterned after the Gandhian movement in India a great deal. I have been influenced by Mahatma Gandhi a great deal, and I think this is true of many, many people in the movement in the United States. Some years ago, when I first studied the Gandhian philosophy and the method of nonviolent resistance, I came to the conclusion that it was the most potent weapon available to oppress people in their struggle for freedom and human dignity. And I would say that this overall direct action movement with its sit-ins and its stand-ins, its wade-ins, its kneel-ins, its mass marches and pilgrimages and all of the other elements that enter the struggle have been patterned a great deal after Gandhi. Now, there are certainly some sociological differences in that in the United States we are a numerical minority facing the opposition of many individuals who form a numerical majority, when in India it was the other way around. The other thing is that we are struggling for integration, when in India there was a struggle for independence, and there is a difference. In one instance, you're seeking to gain freedom from a foreign invader. In the other instance, you're seeking to come to a new adjustment and the kind of integrated brotherly living with the very people who in the same situation are oppressing you.
Mr. Workman.
Do I understand you, Doctor, to mean that you would have then brotherhood by federal force to those people who are not willing to engage in what you consider to be brotherhood?
No, I don't mean you would have brotherhood by federal force. I don't think you can really have true brotherhood by federal force. I do think, though, that you can break down the legal and the external and the man-made barriers that make brotherhood impossible by federal force. In other words, I don't think you can have brotherhood as long as there is a system of racial segregation. Now, I do feel that this system can be broken down by federal force. Now, when you move to the realm of true brotherhood, or true integration, which is genuine intergroup, interpersonal living, mutual acceptance, then we move into another realm altogether. And I don't think this can be done by federal force, but I think that these barriers can be broken down and it can bring us nearer to the goal.